Tom Watson was a real fighter. His precision and elegance set him apart from his rivals. Watson's intense rivalries made every tournament feel like a movie. From hero to a subject of controversy, his story shows that even the brightest stars fade eventually.
Game of golf is the only sport where you can go out and play with professionals and still compete with them.
Well, my career started when I was 6 years old, with my dad giving me my first lesson.
I was very honored to be selected, and as I said today, I've seen many opening tee shots on this during the Masters over my years.
Tom Watson had experienced everything in his life, from practicing on frozen fields to competing in the biggest golf events. Despite his remarkable achievements, his comments about a fellow golfer sparked one of the biggest disputes in the history of golf. In 1982, Watson was playing at Pebble Beach and eagerly awaited his moment. However, Jack Nicklaus was also trying to win the US Open. The match was tied, but on the 17th hole, Watson got lucky with a shot that hit the flag and fell into the hole. Finally, his dream of winning a US Open trophy had come true. Tom Watson was born in Kansas City in 1949. He had a very competitive childhood. He developed a habit of always trying to be better, which began when he tried to beat his elder brother. Watson was a baseball player when he was a kid, but things took a turn when he was sacked from his local team. So he decided to start golf when he was just 9. Watson loved natural beauty from the start and found golf to be a perfect game in which he was connected with nature. He fell in love with golf so much that even with the crazy cold winters of Kansas, when the temperature dropped to 20 degrees Fahrenheit around 6 degrees Celsius, Watson would still go out and play golf in the frozen grass. Watson performed exceptionally well in junior tournaments, and his talent started gaining attention. At 13, his father encouraged him to participate in men's tournaments. However, his first attempt ended disastrously as he shot an 81 in that event. The following year, he made a comeback. At 14, he defeated many experienced players to win the Kansas City men's tournament, which helped him realize his great potential and ability to become one of the greats in the game. Watson was coached by Stan Thirsk, who refined his form and technique, helping him to achieve his golfing dreams of playing professionally. Watson became famous at his school because of his golfing talent. He attended Stanford University, where he studied psychology. He also played golf at the university, and although he didn't deliver impressive performances there, he still won the Missouri State Amateur Golf Championship 4 times. His glory days came when he decided to become a professional golfer. He was the #1 golfer from 1978 to 1982. In his career, he would win 5 Open titles, 2 Master titles, and 1 US Open title. But on the rise to glory, you make few enemies on the way. There are always people who want to take you down. Watson was involved in one of the similar clashes during his career. But why did he clash with one of his fellow golf players? What started this rivalry in the first place? In the coming videos, we will share more hidden truths about your favorite players. Subscribe to ensure you don't miss out on the secret life your favorite sports star lived behind the scenes. Let's find out what happened with Tom Watson. This story goes back to the first Skins game, a new and unfamiliar concept at the time. The event was created by Steve Sesnick, an American entrepreneur who had recently moved to Palm Coast, Florida, a small town with a population of 2837 and little in the way of entertainment. Recognizing the area's potential as a tourist destination, Sesnick came up with a plan to turn it into a renowned golfing spot. His idea led to the creation of the Skins game, an annual golf tournament where the top 4 players compete in a match play format for a substantial cash prize. Little did Sesnick know that the first edition of this event would become involved in the biggest scandal in golf history. The reason the game became famous was its huge prize money. For perspective, Arnold Palmer, one of the players to win the competition, won $120,000, double what he would win in any normal competition. The first edition of the Skins game was inaugurated in 1983. Only the world's best golf players, including Arnold Palmer, Gary Player, Tom Watson, and Jack Nicklaus, were invited to play at that event. At first, everyone thought it was just a fun and friendly game. However, it quickly became one of the most controversial events in golf. The game got off to a good start for all the players, with most gaining shots. But things took a turn when the event reached the 16th hole, and the stakes rose to $120,000. Watson was in a favorable position to win the tournament, with Nicklaus trailing far behind and Palmer out of the running. The only competitor who could pose a threat was Gary Player, who had his eyes set on the win. Before taking a shot, Gary noticed a leaf on the ground, which he thought might interfere with the ball's movement, so he moved it away. Luckily, Gary took the short, and it landed within 8 inches, resulting in a tie with Watson. When Gary took the shot, Watson was standing 30 feet away, and he started to accuse him that even though he wasn't watching him, he had seen him move the leaf. Gary tried to defend himself by saying his actions were within the rules. Tom stated that you must play under the rules and shouldn't be allowed to remove it, as it was not a loose impediment. But Gary again defended himself by saying it was a loose impediment, so he removed it. Now, as both Gary Player and Tom Watson had made it with par 3 to the 16th hole, it would add $30,000 in the two-tie all-tie format. In the 17th hole, which was 570 yards away, it was now worth $150,000 for anyone close to it. Tom Watson took his swing, hoping to beat Gary Player and take the win, but it landed 8 feet away. Jack Nicklaus also tried his luck, but missed out by 8 feet. But Gary got lucky this time. He was only shy of the hole by just 5 feet, making him the winner. Gary took the prize of $150,000 with him. Jack Nicklaus took $30,000 on the 18th hole, but the 5-time British Open winner only went home with $10,000 from a prize of $360,000. Skin's game started with a lot of joy and amusement, but it would now be remembered forever because of Tom Watson's accusation. Watson played his first major championship, the US Open, in 1974 at Winged Foot. He played well throughout the event, but failed badly in the final round after having a 54-hole lead. One of the former players, Byron Nelson, who was also a broadcaster, went to his room to give him hope that he liked his playing style and could help him refine his skills to become a better player. Nelson became Watson's mentor, and that is when he started to see real success come his way. Just 2 weeks after the loss at Winged Foot, Watson got his first PGA title when he won the Western Open near Chicago, and did it in style. The following season, he was playing to defend his master title, but he missed out by a 10-foot par putt, so he ended up being second while Gary Player took home the title that day. The following year, he worked on his form to get even better. He won 5 PGA victories in 1979, including a tournament victory with a record 14 under par. He also finished runner-up for the Masters title that year. 1980 was the year in which Watson was in his prime. He put on a show in the Open Championships to take home his 3rd title. Watson won 6 tournaments that year in America. He was also the leading money winner on the PGA Tour for 4 years. In 1981, he took redemption from Jack Nicklaus and won his 2nd Masters title. Watson added 2 more victories to his PGA career that year. The US Open was the tournament Watson very badly wanted to win, but standing in his way was his biggest rival, Jack Nicklaus. That game started great for them, but it ended in a tie. Nicklaus was very confident about winning this time, but Watson had been playing amazingly, and his chip shot on the 17th hit the flagstick and fell into the cup, which helped him gather a win over Nicklaus to get his maiden US Open title. The following month after winning the US Open, he showed his skills at the Open Championship, where he smashed his rival Nick Price to take home yet another major event title. In 1983, he was defending the US Open Championship, but missed by a 6-foot putt and came only a stroke behind his opponent Larry Nelson from winning. The following month, he won yet another Open Championship. In 1985, he finished runner-up in the Master title with only 2 strokes behind the winner. Watson had 3 PGA wins, but he couldn't manage to win a major title that year. After that year, his downfall started. He didn't win any PGA tournaments for 3 years. He broke his no-trophy era by finally winning the 1987 Nabisco Championship. He again hit a dry patch and wasn't winning anything for almost a decade. His last 2 PGA wins came in 1996 and 1998. Even though he wasn't winning the PGA tournaments, he kept playing and competing in other golf tournaments. He played his final game in 2019 to end his spectacular career. If you enjoy this story about Tom Watson, please subscribe to ensure you don't miss out when we upload a video about your favorite player. In the meantime, what do you think of Tom Watson's accusation about Gary Player? Let me know in the comments below.